10 times the first time we did this. What's up, BJ Bros?
Hey guys, welcome to BJ's Happy Hour. This is our first legitimate podcast.
Today we're going to be talking about a lot of fun and stupid things, though we always get off topic, so
Oh yeah.
let's get into the video. Okay, well, I'm just going to start right off the bat with a bunch of stupid things I've done which have resulted in injuries.
This will be interesting.
Brett knows about some of these, not much. Okay, so I'm going to start off with my most recent bad injury that I got. This summer, I had taken a blender, one of those old personal blenders.
Like the ones where you just like the cups in it?
Yeah, where you just push it down. One of those. Mm-hmm. I took one of those and my brother had dropped it on the floor, so the cup cracked. So it was useless and it was cheap. It wasn't one of the nice ones. So I took it and I got away so I could take the bottle off and just have the blade spinning.
Why would you do that?
Because,
like, what's the point of it?
I don't know. I thought, cut things. But
just throw it away. Those things are really sharp, though, dude.
Oh, I
like,
know.
The blades on a blender like that.
And my little brother watched me do all of this up until the point where the injury happened. So I had this bottle, and it's going. I figured it out, and then we've got the blade spinning. And I take it outside, and I am just cutting things with like zzz, zzz, on little boxes. Onto
well, so like you had it plugged in and was...
Yeah, and I was just like...
and you're so stupid.
Most people would be like, this is a bad idea. I went, this is a bad idea. And my brother said, this is a bad idea. And I went, it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, but bad ideas are always the most fun.
When I have bad ideas, I think I'm invincible. But, so, I take this blender, and I'm going across a box, and it's like gunk, cutting it
like a cardboard box?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I did it on a chunk of wood. Very dangerous. It was like gunk. So I went back to the cardboard box. One-handed, I shove it into the box. And it just kicks out of my hand.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we can see where this is going. I catch the cord with this hand. So it's fine at that point. But my very special self went, I've got to catch it after I already had it. And I smacked my hand into it. Right into the spinning blade.
Was it like bad? Was it like gushing blood?
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
So I smash my hand into it, and then I unplug it. I step on the cord and unplug it, and I immediately go, okay, I'm fine. Because I didn't feel this. I'm in shock. I don't feel a single thing. And I'm standing there, shocked, and I'm like, it hit my hand. Crap. I don't want to look at my hand. I close it, and then I just open it for just a moment, and I look at it, and there is a gash. It's like messy going.
Oh, dude, I can see the scar from it. Show them the scar if they can see it.
Yeah. That scar, that's a fun scar.
Holy crap.
That'll have many stories to tell. But the scar doesn't do it justice. It was cut here. It was just everywhere. And it should have been a lot messier. I could have had it like really, really bad. But I see that, and I immediately put it in my armpit, actually, while I'm wearing my shirt, and I shove it in my armpit, and I walk around to the side of the house, and I'm like, I can't let my mom know. What should I do? Because I didn't want her to know that I did it doing a stupid thing.
Well, how long ago was it?
When?
Like when you were doing this.
Like how long ago from now?
Yeah.
This was last summer. Yeah, this is fairly recent.
Okay.
So, I didn't want my mom to know about it. So I hid it, and I tried to keep it hidden for a few minutes. I was thinking, can't tell her. I was thinking, what should I do? So I went down into my bedroom, and I was planning on running up with, I don't remember what I was planning on doing. I think I had a little grate in my room, like for the vent, and I was going to tell my mom that I was trying to take it out and accidentally smacked the metal, so that it wasn't like I made an actual mistake. But then sense got kicked into me, and I race inside, grab a paper towel, and I go, I'm going to tell my mom. Walk upstairs, and she's sitting in her bedroom doing her college work or whatever. I don't even remember. And I'm like, Mom, I made a mistake. And she goes, what? And I go, I made a really big mistake. And she just smiles at me, and then her face, and she's like,
she smiled. Or like as she sees the
yeah,
gushing
no,
blood.
she didn't see it. She's just like, what did you do? And I take up the paper towel. I'm like, Mom, I cut myself really bad. And she just looks at it. Shock fills her face, and she's like, get in the car. We're going to the hospital now.
So how many stitches did you get? Do you remember?
Okay, so we got to the hospital. I sat there for like 20 minutes, and it wasn't bleeding as much as
so you
it
didn't
should've.
get stitches?
I got stitches.
Okay.
But 20 minutes of sitting there, and then they finally take us in, and I haven't felt a single thing except for it would hurt a bit. And then she has me put in a bowl of water, and I am almost crying.
Oh.
After everything. That was what got me. But
Well, water can hurt on an injury sometimes.
oh, I
It can
know.
be like-
I was like, Mom, it's alcohol. It's alcohol. It's water. But yeah, that happened. So I have this gash, and the nurse walks in. She looks at it. She's like, it's not that bad. And she stitches me up. But it was 7 stitches, I believe. Or 6 or 7. I just remember that one of them, so only half my hand had been numbed, but I was too nervous to tell her it's not numb. I was afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I didn't tell her. Bump, bump, bump. And half of them hurt a lot. And on the second to last one, she's sewing it up, and she goes to pull it away, and she goes, rip! And she rips it out of my
to like tighten them up?
Yeah, and she accidentally rips it out of my hand. I just go,
She ripped it? She
was,
doesn't sound like a good nurse.
no, she was a good nurse. She just had low blood sugar or something, so she could get really shaky. It was a complete accident.
What?
Everybody has accidents.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but like you had a shaky nurse?
No, she wasn't that shaky. It was a complete accident. Anyway, this happened, and I buried my head into my shoulders. Like, that didn't hurt much, did it? Because it was numb. I was like, nope.
Why didn't you just tell her?
But she put that one in, put in the last one. That was the story of my cut. It took several weeks to heal, and now I've got a scar on my hand. And then I've got a lot of other injuries. I'll talk about my pencil marks, and then I'll let Brett talk. So I have 3 pencil marks. A pencil mark is when you get stabbed by a pencil.
Well,
When you get stabbed by a pencil, it leaves a mark. So the first one that I ever got, I don't know if you can kind of see it.
Oh, is it the black thing?
Yeah, that little black dot, that was the first one I ever got.
So there's like...
Yeah.
Is there lead in it?
No, there's no lead. It just colors the
What?
skin. It's weird.
Hmm.
But it just happens. Anyway, I had a pencil, and it was back in Onamia. Yet again, I was messing around with some friends, and I held a pencil. Freshly sharpened wooden pencil. Sharp point facing into my palm.
So that was when you lived in Onamia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharp part is facing into my palm, and I stab him with the eraser, and it breaks off of my hand. It just stabbed right in and broke.
Why'd you do it?
Because I didn't think it was going to happen. It was an accident. But then
you literally just said you did it on purpose, right?
Well, yeah, but I didn't mean for that to happen. But seriously, that, like, my pinky nail, you see that? A piece of lead.
That's how much went in?
About that long. Half of it went into my hand.
Did you tell your mom?
Oh, yeah, my mom knows about this.
Well, how'd you get it out?
Well, I just pulled it out because only half of it was in.
Oh, so...
But everybody in class is sitting there like, what the heck, Jezreel?
Did it start bleeding?
Yeah, a lot. And this was also in health class, so maybe not the best place. Second one I got is on the back of my wrist. This one's a bit less visible, but
it's right,
there we go. That little dot. That one, last year, sitting in class with Tanner, and I tell him to stab me in the back of the wrist.
You told him to?
Oh, wait, no, I didn't tell him to do that. We were messing around, and this was where I was telling him that, I would hit myself. I'd be like, Tanner just hit me. It was a joke. It sounds stupid, and it was. But anyway, it got to the point where I wanted to prove my dedication, so I took a wooden pencil and shoved it into the back of my wrist and went, Tanner stabbed me. But then I had to hide it because I didn't want to get him in trouble.
Who'd you tell that Tanner stabbed you?
I didn't tell
Was
anybody.
that a teacher?
It was a teacher, but I kind of jokingly, and I was like, no, nothing happened.
Oh, okay.
But that
Did
one
the teacher heard you, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I was just like, no, I was just kidding.
Oh, shoot. 1 second, guys. My computer went black. There we go.
Okay. So that one was fun. that one I did myself. And my last one, this one's the most visible. Let's see. That boy, the big old black mark right there. That one. So, someone has a pencil.
Can I see that one? Oh, that one right there?
Yeah, that's the
Can
freshest
you,
one.
You don't feel
No, I
them,
don't
though.
feel anything.
Huh.
Freshest one. Someone has a pencil. Might know if he ever watches this video called Big Wood. It's a giant pencil, and it's sharpened.
Oh.
Very sharp. And sitting in class, and I tell him, stab me. I just look at him, I say, stab me. And he jokingly does it, and I'm like, harder. And he pushes a bit harder, and pop.
It just all of a sudden like popped through your skin.
Yeah,
and...
just out of nowhere. Pop.
Well,
right
it must
through
have
my
been
skin.
pretty sharp then.
It was
like,
really sharp.
Was it like brand new then?
No, he had just, freshly sharpened.
Yeah, okay.
But popped right through my skin, went kind of deep, and this was during English. I had to hide it because the teacher for English really cares about people's well-being and will report anybody.
That was Miss Poole?
Yeah, Miss Poole. But, yeah, that one happened. That one hurt. That didn't heal for a while. That's my pencil marks. You got...
You're stupid.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, guys, sorry for the break. We had to plug my laptop in real quick and save it. So Jez told us a couple stories about some stupid injuries he's had. A couple of mine. Now I'm gonna tell one. What was it? I had a similar one of your injuries reminded me of a time when I was a kid. My mom had one of those like really small garden tillers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Not like the big ones that go on the back of like the little lawn tractors or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so my mom had a garden tiller, and I was a stupid kid, but I was messing with it, and I got a big gash on my leg. I don't think I have a scar, otherwise I'd show you guys my leg. But I had this huge scar on it, but I refused to tell my mom. Like, I was, like, gushing blood, and I was, like, freaking out. I was in my garage. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I didn't ever tell my mom, but
Wait, so does she know about it to this day?
She probably knows about it now.
Okay.
I might have told her later, but I never got stitches or anything, although I'm probably sure I could have.
Was it a bad cut?
It was pretty dang bad, yeah.
You just never told her?
No.
Okay.
No, I think I used, like, one of those giant Band-Aids and, like, duct tape or something.
You're like me, but stupider, because when you make the mistake,
well,
you decide not to get help.
Yeah, I'd done
Wait,
some
but how
stupid
old
things.
were you?
This was, like, 8, 9 years ago.
Okay, I understand that, because when I was that age, I literally stabbed myself in the leg with a knife and didn't tell my mom.
Oh, I still cut myself real bad, and I won't tell my mom, like, sometimes.
Oh, so you still won't tell. Well, is it, like, bad enough?
Well, not bad enough if I get stitches.
Okay,
if
so
it was
it's not, like,
bad,
threatening your life. It's just like,
No, but if it was bad enough to give me a scar, but if I could, like, manage to stop the bleeding, then I wouldn't.
Okay.
You know?
That makes sense.
Yeah. I want my mom to think I'm stupid and get in trouble for things.
My mom knows I'm stupid.
Well, my mom knows I'm stupid too, but she doesn't need to know how really stupid I am. Anyway, I have one. This one actually wasn't my fault. It was my dad's. We were on a 4-wheeler in my grandpa's feedlot, and this one's frustrating because I was telling my dad because he was driving so dangerously. It was like when one of those like little feedlot pens. Those are of you that are sort of familiar with cattle, you know what I'm talking about. But it's just a big pen, not like an open field or anything, but for cattle. And so my dad was driving around in there trying to chase a cow down because she was sick, but she would not go. Eventually, she hit up against our 4-wheeler. We tipped over on the 2 wheels, and then we actually the whole 4-wheeler rolled over, and I got like these big huge scrapes, like burn type scrapes up and down my arm, and we were like stuck under the 4-wheeler. It was bad, and that was like I was so frustrated with my dad for that.
So how'd you guys eventually get out?
Well, someone saw it on the farm that worked on the farm because it was big enough. My grandpa had this big farm operation where he would like he had cows, like a ton of them, and he'd hire workers and stuff. So eventually, one of the workers saw us and came and was able to tip the 4-wheeler back over. Yeah. Oh, but that reminds me of one more. When my dad was when my older sister, she's 25 now. When she was, I don't know how old she was, but it was like probably at least 15, no, probably even 16, 17, 18 years ago. Um, Somewhere in there. My dad, he was driving a motorcycle with her on it, and someone else was there, and apparently they were being kind of scary, and like something, like my sister was scared about what was going to happen, and something happened and they crashed, and it was like on a dirt road. My sister wasn't wearing a helmet or anything, and so her face got like covered, like she still has like a whole bunch of dotted scars on her face. She has a splash on her eyebrow. It's actually pretty cool, but she looks badass with it. But anyway, so she got a bunch of scars on her face from it, and like rocks in her face. And my dad took her to the nearest farm because they were by somebody's farmhouse. They weren't by home. And she was in the tub, and he was literally scrubbing her face with like a cloth to get the dirt out. And I was like, what? When I heard that story, I was like, what? Yeah, and so my sister has a bunch of scars, and apparently, like, I don't know. Luckily, like, it's not that bad. She's like, you can't see the scars unless you're like close, but then if you're like really close, like as close as I am to you, then you'll start to see like all kinds of like dotted scars. Yeah. But yeah, that's my dad. He's kind of stupid. I love him. Love you, Dad, but you've done some dumb stuff.
I mean, that's an oofer.
Yeah. But I've done all kinds of crazy things. One time I almost broke my neck. Got bucked off a horse, and I landed like in some somersault position, kind of with my neck down off the horse.
Yeah.
So the horse bucked me off, and I went and landed like my feet here in the air, and then that was my neck right there. It was bad. That actually, I never went to the hospital, but I couldn't even like barely walk after that. Like every time I would walk, especially if I ran, it'd be like a stabbing pain in my back every time.
So you had some spinal damage?
Probably. I don't think I broke it, because we went and got x-rays eventually for I think some other injury that I had, and it didn't look like I broke my back, but yeah. So I've had some interesting ones. I'll let you say some other stuff.
Well, I could talk about the few bones I've broken, and that's about all I got after that. So my first ever broken bone, it was just a fracture, but I was bored. And when Jezreel is bored, Jezreel does stupid stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can already tell. Yeah. I've known you for most of one school year, and I know Jez is an incredibly stupid person. I mean, I love you, dude, but you do some dumb stuff.
I know.
It's okay, I do too. And I know you know I do.
Real quick, for any of my viewers who are in the classroom, real quick, we gotta to stir up some controversy.
Oh yeah.
Does an amputee count for a whole person? Or a whole subscriber? Anyway.
That is not, no. Okay. This was a joke he came up with during digital arts a couple days ago, so some of you might know what he's talking about, but and
some of you will be deeply
offended. An interesting question. Does an amputee count as a full person? I mean,
Brett, you're making it worse.
It's legitimate. Should they be counted as a full boat?
Anyway, back to the arm.
But we really don't mean it. Jez just likes to stir up controversy because that's the kind of guy he is.
It's a joke. Anyway, no Shane Dawson cat fucker. Anyway, no, I love Shane Dawson. I do. It's just a joke on his part too. Anyway, I ride on my bike. My mom told me to go outside because I was being annoying inside. Because when I'm bored, I'm very, very annoying. I just bug people. Because that's how I stay entertained. And my mom said, go outside. You're not allowed in here anymore. So I went outside, and I was just walking around, and we lived right on the road, and there was a little ditch on the other side. And I went, I'm going to jump that ditch on my bike.
Like a pedal bike?
Yeah, a pedal bike,
Okay.
mountain bike, old, rusty, broken. So I take a small block of wood that's maybe 4x4, like tiny. He's a little boy. And I take him and I put a small piece of rotten plywood on top. And
Okay.
this is just leaning into the ditch pretty much. Not even over, just straight into the ditch. And I take my bike, I start from our yard and it's like 20 feet. Slowly, like inching along. I could have walked faster than this. And I was just inching along towards the thing. I go up and I'm wearing a helmet, that's it. Up the ramp, bam, right into the ditch. And I laid there for 15 minutes until my sister comes out and goes, John, Mom saw what you did. Are you dead? And
Mom saw it and he still didn't come out for 15 minutes?
Yeah, supposedly she saw it, or at least knew that I went into the ditch. Anyway, I was like, oh no, I'm dead. And it went for like 2 weeks without getting it checked, but eventually hurt too much. I got a little chip off the bone. It wasn't even that bad. Really.
What bone?
I believe it was this arm just right here. Nothing intense.
Yeah.
Let's get back on this screen.
Yeah. I should really fix that, but whatever. We'll
Anyway,
fix that later.
it was just a small little nick, nothing bad. And my next bone, dumbest way, I was just running, and I fractured my foot. So that wasn't that bad. It was it was more of a break. But then the third last broken bone I've gotten, which was broken, was bad and dumb. It wasn't super bad, but I was sitting on top of our choir bleachers in Onamia, and I sit on the corner.
Choir bleachers? So you
Yeah.
were in choir before.
Yeah, we had little dun, just a few levels. It wasn't that high, maybe 5. I'm going to say 5 feet up here. And I'm rocking the edge of my chair. I'm like rocking the leg of my chair off the edge. And choir teacher says, stop that. And I go, I'm not going to get hurt. It was her fault for putting me on the edge. Because anybody who just sees me should know I'm stupid. But I'm rocking it. I go, I'm not going to get hurt. Even the para who's down here helping the kid, who's my friend, but he's mentally challenged.
Mm-hmm.
She turns around, she says, stop that. You're going to get hurt. And I rock and rock and rock until and then I stood up. My chair leg was still hanging off the edge, but my chair was still standing. And I sit back down and I tumble off
Did you
the
just
edge.
forget?
I just forgot and crash. Everybody looks at me and starts shrieking with laughter, and I'm lying there contorted on the ground, like my arm behind my back.
So you broke a bone then?
Yeah. So I was laying there, and I eventually, after 5 minutes laying there, got up, was forced to go see the nurse. I didn't want to. And she's like, do you think anything's broken? I said, no, I don't want to go to the doctor. Just let me go back. And for the next 30 minutes, I sat there with a small ice pack on my arm, and it was throbbing in pain.
Ooh.
And
Was it completely broken or just fractured?
It was a close to break fracture. So I've never like snapped my arm or anything.
Yeah.
But it was pretty bad, and I'm sitting there and it's throbbing, and I didn't want to do a single thing about it.
Did you get a cast then eventually?
Yeah, so she eventually made me call home to my mom, and I didn't do anything, but what really was the icing on the cake at the end of the day, after baseball, I was walking to the bus and I tripped on a crack and down, landed right on my arm.
Ooh, so it was broken at this point
Yeah.
and you hadn't had a cast on it yet?
Oh, my mom's here, give me a minute.
Oh.
So I cut up my hands on rock salt and my arm was now officially fractured. So that was fun. I got a cast on it, wound up pulling the cast off. Then my mom made me put it back on.
Why'd you take the cast off?
Because I thought I was healed. It was like 4 weeks in, and I just slipped it off because she didn't do it too tight.
You are so dumb sometimes.
I know. Well, we do have to wrap this up, though, sadly.
Yeah. So is that it, though? That's the end of this?
That was it, and it was broken.
Okay, guys. I guess that's it. We gotta wrap it up. So...
We don't have an outro, so...
Well, how about this? If you guys have had any stupid... dumb things that you've done or any injuries, let us know in the comments below. And if there's anything you'd like to see us talk about, comment that as well.
And we're doing it, Brett. 3, 2, 1. BJ started it all. See you guys next time.